We have right here on the show none other than Snoop Dogg, Coach Snoop Dogg of the Snooper Bowl, rocking a cowboy hat here on the Rich Eisen Hotel. Good to see you.
Yeehaw!
Good to see you, Snoop.
How you doing, Rich?
How you doing?
Well, partner, look, howdy, partner. I'm doing real good today. I got my cowboy hat on. I'm feeling good. Mm-hmm. Missing seeing those horses in the background.
Yeah, I know. I think they just stabled them up for a moment, you know.
3 buffalo gals going around the outside.
Snoop Dogg is on the Rich Eisen show right now from Super Bowl 49. I don't know where to start with you. Let's start with your Steelers. Let's start with them first.
Yeah.
Did you...
Sabotage. I'm going to speak on it. Remember when
Go for it.
Carson Palmer played with the Bengals and one of our players hit him in the leg and blew their whole little season when they was ranked 1?
Uh-oh.
It was payback. They went low on Le'Veon Bell, who was our masterpiece, and when they took him out, they knew they was going to take us out. That was a good move.
That was the end of it.
It was a lot of years of payback, paid back, but I understand it and I get it.
Reggie Nelson just...
Exactly.
Knowing his history.
That's why Tomlin walked up on him like, boy, come meet me behind that tool shed.
But that was a shame.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have been a different result?
It would have been a way different result because we was riding the high. We was really on it like we wanted, you know what I'm saying? Our offense was clicking, defense was on, and that run game gave us room to stretch the field. You know, and once the run game was, you know, invisible, we only had a half of a game.
Are you concerned about LeBeau being gone now and having to start?
Very concerned. But I do know and understand that, you know, Dick's been doing it for a long time and we may need to make a makeover. But I thought it was more the players that need a makeover than the coaches.
Let's talk more Super Bowl 49 with you right now. Marshawn Lynch, where do you stand on this whole, I guess, issue that the media is having with him or he's having with the media, even though he is talking to some members of the media, but when he's out there in front of a microphone at a podium, Snoop, he is just shutting it down. What is your take on this whole thing?
My thing is this, he gets paid to play football, and he do a great job of that. All this extracurricular interview stuff is like, that's forced because everybody's not made for the camera. Everybody don't understand how to talk and get when the media is coming at them sideways on how to, you know, represent themselves. But I'm a fan of Marshawn. I'm from California, and I understand what he's saying and what he's going through. He gets paid to play football. And at the same time, the scrutiny that he goes through as far as when he's speaking, that's not what he's there for. And at the same time, you look at, you know, other players in the NFL who have terrible off-the-field issues, who do a lot of this, but he don't do a lot of that. He about that action, boss.
He is about that action. That's what he told Dion. But I mean, the other side of it, though, Snoop, is that the money that he does make playing football comes from a lot of fans who want to hear from him. At least that's what a lot of members of the media are saying. Where do you?
I think he's got a great relationship with his fans. If you know Marshawn like I do, we had an event in California where we did, you know, a day where we brought the Seahawks out and they communicated with the kids. He's very up close and personal with the fans and the kids. It's the media. You know, the media is the one that's always talking bad about you. He's seen experiences where the media could take this and make it look like that. And he don't want no parts of it, so he don't give them nothing. He'd rather be fine than give them something that's going to try to, you know, put his career in detriment.
Now I'm here with Snoop, who's performing tonight at the DirecTV Fan Fest, Imagine Dragons, Young the Giant, American authors, Ingrid Michaelson, starting at 5 p.m. at Superfan Stadium right across the street from us here on the Rich Eisen Show in Glendale, Arizona. What's your relationship with Pete Carroll? You go way back with him, right?
Yeah, me and Pete go back to the glory days of USC. That's a real close friend of mine. I respect Pete as a coach because I understand what he's trying to do and what he is doing. He's giving so much opportunity to a lot of players who were highly touted, and he's making those guys superstars. That's what I like, the way he came into the Seahawks organization. It made them winners, you know, made them believers, and now they're going for their second Super Bowl championship. It's a good feeling to see my coach out there representing and doing what he does best.
So how do you break it down? Break it down for me, because you know Brady is playing at a very, very high level, and what was going on with Belichick and Brady and the whole Deflategate business, that they are coming on with a chip on their shoulder and they want to prove that it doesn't matter what the PSIs of the football are, it's just what goes on the scoreboard. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a great game because you got 2 great coaches that are defensive-minded coaches. And then you got, you know, Brady, the offensive mechanic that knows how to break down any defense. So you're going to really see the best against the best. You got Blunt at the backfield, you got Lynch, you got 2 great running backs, DBs, you got Sherman, you got Revis. You know, Browner played with the Seahawks, so he knows their mentality. It's going to be a great game. It's about who can stay poised and who can, you know, maintain the whole 60 minutes.
Out of either one of these teams, Snoop, if you could take anybody to put on your team in a Snooper Bowl,
Oh,
coming up? Who would that be? Who'd you take? Who'd you
know
take?
I'm taking the Skittle man. I'm taking beast mode because he brought that action, boss. I mean, my football teams that I coach breed players like Marshawn Lynch. You know, we enthused to see him doing what he do. We take Marshawn first round, first pick, off top.
And you got guys like Ronnie Hillman in the league, right?
Yes,
D'Anthony
sir.
Thomas.
Yes,
These
sir.
are all Snoop graduates,
yes,
correct?
Sir. And I'm so proud of these guys because they all made splashes this year in the league. You know, some form or fashion, they made a splash. And they're still learning. They're young. You know what I mean? These are young men that are growing in the NFL. And I'm just so happy that they made it to this level and they're able to be coached. They're coachable.
Tell me about young Cordell Broadus and the big decision that's coming up right now, Snoop. February 4th.
Yeah.
A couple days after the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir. I'm so excited for my son because I put so many other kids through college, and now to have a direct connect with my bloodline, you know, making a decision on where he's going to go, this is going to be an awesome experience. I can't wait to see where he goes and to see how he becomes, you know, a developed young football player so one day we can get him at the combine and see what he do.
Can I let you know about a new coach at the University of Michigan named Jim Harbaugh? Can I throw that name out there right now for you, Snoop?
I love Harbaugh, man. You know I love Jim.
I know. Yeah, and you know, and that's my school.
Oh, that is?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I believe
wow.
Maize and Blue. You cut me right now. It'll be right on the floor.
Well, I heard that.
Yeah. Right.
Let me tell you a story about when y'all won the national championship last, when y'all had Woodson and all those guys on the team.
Yeah.
I was standing in a city called Claremont, California, and this was the day before the Super Bowl, and my doorbell rung, and there was a bunch of little white girls, and I was like, what do y'all want? They were like, is this where Snoop Dogg lives? I'm like, nah, get away from me. Get out my door. Get out of here. And they was like, we have Charles Woodson and a couple of Michigan Wolverines that want to meet you. I said, quit lying. And I looked on my camera, and they was outside, and I opened the door, and they all came in, and they hung out with me, and we chopped it up, and the next day they won the national championship. And that's a true story. That's how I met Charles Woodson, Marcus Ray, Andre Weathers.
Yeah.
I met those guys. I know they snuck out, but, you know, too late. They already won the national championship.
Yeah, you could also make a case, though, that Charles Woodson with Brady, obviously those are the two best players in the history of University of Michigan to go on to the next level. But when you include what they did in college, you could say Charles is the best.
C. Wood.
That's it.
C. Wood.
Right.
C. Wood was phenomenal to watch, man. He was, especially in those big games against Ohio State and those rivalry games, he would really, really show up and show out. And he played with a different kind of swag. So for them to come to my house at that point in his career where he was on his way to the NFL, that was a brilliant thing. Then I met him again with the Raiders, and he told me the story. I was like, man, that's cold-blooded, baby.
We got to bring that up with him, maybe.
Yeah, please bring it up with OCW.
Yeah, I want to bring up Josh Gordon with you before I let you go, Snoop.
Okay.
You know, I'll put the Coach Snoop hat on right now.
Yes, sir.
So let's just pretend the cowboy hat you've been wearing this whole interview is the Coach Snoop hat. Josh Gordon put out a statement. It was a very powerful and emotional letter that he put online on Medium.com. He essentially said it was an open letter to Charles Barkley, Chris Carter, Stephen A. Smith, and others who have been critical of what's been going on with him because he's facing a year-long suspension now. He said, in essence, that they don't know him. And if I have a problem, I'm quoting now, it said, I'm only 23 years old with a lot left to learn. I've come a long way from those mean Fondren streets, but it's clear that I can be a better me, one who kids coming up to me for selfies and autographs can be proud of. I want that future for myself, and I truly believe that what I'm going through right now will only make me stronger. I believe that my future is bright. What would you say to this young man, Snoop Dogg?
I would say, Josh Gordon, that's the first step to rehabilitation, to admitting that you have a problem and admitting that you want to do better. You know, I come from that same situation. When I first, you know, popped on the scene, I was known as one who always messed up his opportunities or did things that, you know, held me back. But as you get older and you get around men who can shape and mold you and who care about you, then you'll become a better man. And I feel like he's making the right efforts as far as addressing Charles Barkley and Chris Carter and all of these guys, because Chris Carter is a mentor. So to me, that letter was reaching out for help, saying, look, Chris, Barkley, all you guys, why don't y'all come help me? Don't talk about me on TV. Come help me, man. I need some real help, and I don't know how to get help. I'm 23 years old. I'm a young man with all of this money and all of this temptation in front of me. You guys are experienced vets. Why don't you guys come help me? I want help. So, Josh Gordon, this is Snoop Dogg. I got your back. If you need some help, I'm with you, OG.
Okay. No, I'm sure he'll reach out to you. Would you reach out to him?
In a real way. Come on, man. That's what we do. We got to look out for each other because you never know when you're going to fall on the, you know, on the down times or whatnot and need some help and some support. That's what we need to do, support each other. It's not always up when you go down. It's about who can put their hand out to help you back up.
The annual Snooper Bowl, Saturday, right before Super Sunday. That's tomorrow. at Saguaro High School in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yes, sir.
Who's got the issue on their hands to take on your team?
Wow,
right
we're
now?
playing against the Texas All-Stars. I don't know if you watched the show Friday Night Tykes, but
I've heard of it.
yeah, it's the actual teams from that league. We're coming together to play against the Snooper Bowl, Texas versus California, because
There you go.
Texas and California is always looked at as, you know, the premier in football, not excluding Florida, but Texas and California as well. So this is just an annual, you know, bang, bang, shoot 'em up. Like we get out on the football field, the gridiron, and this the day before the Super Bowl to inspire these kids to want to make it to the next level.
Last question for you, Snoop, because you're my coach too, okay? I've got a big run coming up, age 45.
Got you.
I did a 5.98 in my custom-made suit, because that's just the way I roll.
You were sharp when you was running too.
Thank
I
you.
ain't gonna front.
Now, I've been challenged to get around 5'7" this year. What do I do? Give me a tip. Give me something. Give me a run thought. Give me something, Snoop. Give me something that will make me faster.
First thing, put a bow tie on.
Whoa, wow. Next level.
Okay.
Yeah, put that bow tie on, because that's gonna knock about a half a second off.
Okay.
And then button your jacket up.
Oh.
See, because
Okay.
when you button it up, you're keeping all the speed within, and that way when you fully step all the way up, now the speed is moving behind you. Because right now with the jacket,
Yeah.
the speed is moving through the jacket, and by the time you get to your full speed, the jacket then took all the speed.
Okay.
Zip all that up, bow tie him on in, and get it going. And I can see it about a 6.5.
All right. I will see you. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
In a real way.
Oh, yeah. Good to see you, and I'll see you at the Fan Fest tonight.
As you do know
DirecTV.
that.
Snoop, you are the man.
Thank you, boy.
Thanks for coming
Appreciate
on.
it. Yeah.
You bet. That's Snoop Dogg right here on the Rich Eisen Shizzle. Right here.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.